should the Lakers be?
I'd be moderately concerned.
Oh.
Yeah, because I do
honest.
not view this like I view, because the Timberwolves are 21 of 42 from three. So you'd be like, a team makes 20 plus threes, 50%. What are you going to do? That's not how I viewed this game, because when the Warriors beat them on a similar shooting performance, that game was close, and it felt more fluky, and it felt like, okay, like, is that, and the Lakers had anomalous bad shooting, and it was still close. So I came in here, and you got annoyed with me, and I was like, that game doesn't concern me.
Yep.
This felt different, in part because of those 42 threes, 37 were classified as either wide open or open, and I said on Friday that I thought that Ant would have a huge game because the Lakers wouldn't do what they did, which was basically collapse the paint, send extra help to Ant, and leave guys open. Now, that wasn't because I had intel. It wasn't because J.J. Redick shared the plan with me. It's just because I thought that's what they should do, and they've been a well-coached, smart team. And I'm not criticizing J.J. because he's done a great job. That was not their approach, and Ant killed them for it. And so I understand, because they don't have a rim protector, they feel the extra pressure to, pack the paint, so be it. But if you're going to pack the paint, you can't then also, in my opinion, send help, because then you are letting the role players get wide open shots, which I think has a knock-on effect, Brew, of making those guys actually defend harder. I think that when you're getting the ball and making shots, you're more engaged in the game. And so I am not going to act like this was nothing. This was not nothing. Now, is it enough for me to be like, oh, the Lakers can't beat them? No. Do I think the Lakers are the better team? Yes. Do I still think the Lakers will win the series? Yes. Do I think Game 1 was a fluke, though? I do not. And I think that the Timberwolves came out with more force and a smarter approach, and they won because of it.
I was stunned.
Really?
I was stunned. I fully, now, I said Lakers in 5. I'm not saying that anymore. I don't think it'll be 5. I still, like Nick said, I think they'll win. But I was fully expecting them to win Game 1. No question about it. I was shocked. And it was 2 approaches to stars. Luka, they single covered Luka. If I looked through every shot Luka took again after the game, and whether it was Gobert, Conley, whoever got switched on to Luka, they single covered.
It's what I thought the Lakers were going to do to Ant. Is how the Wolves guarded Luka. Sorry.
And I've talked about, I've thrown that out when Luka has these big games. Like, should teams consider just single covering him? Don't double no matter what. If he gets 40, he had 37, live with it, because he had 1 assist. So he had 37 points, 1 assist, nobody else got him. And I'm not blaming Luka. I mean, he played great. But I'm just saying it was 2 different approaches to the stars. Like you said, so Ant, they approached it differently. Let's get the ball out of his hands. Now, he still took 22 shots. He was aggressive. But 7 of his 9 assists were for three-pointers. And like you said, they were wide open. At best, it was like someone flying at the defender, or at the shooter as he's taking a shot. But most of them, when they caught it, they were wide open and they had time. So there was that. Secondly, it looked like, and we'll see, but it looked like a team that was really good defensively. Like, it was a legitimately good defensive team, because the Timberwolves were 6th in the league defensively, versus a team that, and I say this knowing I picked the Lakers not only to win this series but to win the West. It looked against a team that looked like a fugazi defensive team. Like, it really did. Like, they, as you said, you can't give up that many open threes. And when they were, playing great defense at that one point during the season, we all knew it was because teams were missing an inordinate amount of the threes.
I don't think it was just that. But
no, I'm not saying that was just it, but it was that teams were missing a lot of threes.
Okay, let's talk about this. I mean, hey, credit to Nick. Got to give credit. He didn't try to spin this in a way. Because going into this on Monday, I was kind of laughing in the comment section, being like, how is Nick gonna spin that this Lakers loss is good and the Warriors win is bad? And he said this wasn't a fluke, because it wasn't. And and that's why, how concerned should LA be? Like, I made a Herd video earlier today and been like, yeah, there's real concern. This was a real loss. This wasn't one of those fluky things where, like, oh, this other team was so hot and our team was just really cold, etc., etc. I question, the Lakers' ability to really step up when they need to. You looked at the Timberwolves. They truly looked like a complete team. Everybody understood their role. Every single one of their players understood what they needed to do. The objective for their individual, what they needed to do individually was clear. And so collectively, they played awesome as a team. The Lakers, on the other hand, did not. I mean, watch that game. Watch some highlights. Like, you can see the disconnect. You can just see the disconnect. And that is part of the problem of Luka, as they point out, he only had like 1 assist. And it's not just about passing the ball and about, getting assists. It's not just about that. It's not like you can clearly have like 8-10 assists and still not really get people, in rhythm and flowing together. So you can't just look at the box score and the bottom line. You just can't. Russell Westbrook can get plenty of assists and still, not really be conducive to having a team play well together collectively. But that's the problem with having a Luka-led team compared to a LeBron-led team, because this was a Luka-led game and it was just very much disconnected. And it's not like that with LeBron. And the problem is that LeBron is no longer that dude who you can just be like, all right, he's going to go for 40 tonight. Can he do it? Sure. Can he do it reliably? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And then you have some players like the Ruiz, like the Austin Reeves of the league, where, yeah, they're going to really be able to shine on a random Wednesday in November. And they're going to have their moments in the playoffs, but you can't rely on them. The reality is you can really only rely on like 8 guys in the NBA these days. Seriously, like in any given moment, who you can consistently rely on game after game after game, especially in the playoffs. And LeBron used to be one of them, and he's not now. He put up 19 points in a game that he clearly needed to do more. Like that is just the reality of the situation. Luka's gonna get his numbers. He's gonna get his numbers. But we know. I mean, listen, guys, this is so obvious in basketball. We always try to pretend like it's not. We always try to pretend like some of these players win by themselves, like we do in football as well. But that's just, dude, basketball, that's just not the way it goes, man. You need 3 guys. You need 3 dudes that can ball, and consistently. At a minimum, you need those 2 guys who consistently, without a shadow of a doubt, get the job done, game in and game out. And that 3rd guy usually flirts with, sometimes, he's the man. Sometimes, you just can't get it going. And in a way, that's kind of Austin Reeves' situation right now. But the problem is LeBron used to at least be that guy, and he's not now. It's unfortunate. I mean, Father Time, undefeated. We know that. And we keep trying to kick that can down the road because he is still amazing. He is still special. He is still awesome. He is still unstoppable at times. But that reliability is no longer there. It's just the way it goes, man. And so we can keep trying to deny that, but it's just not true. So, that puts you in a tough spot. That puts the Lakers in a tough spot. Because someone said in the comment section, oh, I'm not worried about the Lakers, because LeBron's not going to have to shoulder the load. He can be like the 3rd option, essentially. It's going to be Luka and Austin Reeves. And it's like, that's not possible for the Lakers. Austin Reeves is a nice player, and it can be a great player. He's not that guy in any given moment. Will he go off for 30 in a game? Absolutely. Am I saying Austin Reeves is trash? Absolutely not. But there is, just make no mistake about it, there is a mile-long gap between the LeBrons, the Stephs, the KDs, the Lukas of the world, and quite frankly, the Austin Reeves of the world, the Klay Thompsons of the world, even. Like, Klay Thompson's great. Klay Thompson's a Hall of Famer. There's such a massive gap between him and KD, and it's just not even close. And just in terms of the reliability, in terms of the consistency of, like, you look at KD and say, you need to put up 30, and he's going to put up 30. Once upon a time with LeBron, you said, I need you to put up 40. He's going to put up 40. And these other players, they don't have that. That's been that way since the beginning of the NBA, man. It just has been. It just has been. I mean, it's so funny how easily these players and these teams, no matter what year it is, always fit in this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, it's just so clear. So clear. And so that is what the Lakers are reconciling with in real time in the playoffs. I do think they can still beat the Timberwolves, even though so many of these shots were open and this or that. The Wolves were obviously playing out of their mind. They were playing with such a level of intensity. The Lakers were a little bit shell-shocked. They were a little about kind of just be like, oh, well, we got Luka, let's go. And like LeBron, again, he couldn't get things going. You saw some of his vintage LeBron trying to drive, trying to get there. Couldn't get it to fall down. Then he was like starting to rely on some jump shooting. That wasn't working for him. And then that's when things kind of start to unravel a little bit. And again, once upon a time, LeBron was just able to put his head down and just get to the basket and get everyone involved. And the game went through LeBron. Doesn't really feel like the game's going through LeBron right now. And so now if you are using LeBron as like a third option, which to me is just never going to work, you're just kind of like, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't fit. And especially when, again, you're looking at some of these other role players for the Lakers, and they don't feel like that their roles are clearly defined. They don't feel like they still fully understand what needs to happen. And that's how you get a game like this. So I'm excited to see how they bounce back, how they compete. To me, so much will be what happens in game 2. I think a very, very convincing win goes an incredibly long way. I don't think just any win, like if they win a close game and it really kind of comes down to the wire, I would still continue to be concerned about the Lakers. But if they're able to bounce back, Luka goes for 35 plus, LeBron goes for 25, 30, Reeves gets going 25, right? Like if they really get going and, then I would feel so much better. And you would be like, okay, that was just a kind of a wonky game in game 1. You would have a lot more confidence just to be like, okay, all right, on the road now, let's get after it. But if they win a close game, you would feel still a little tight about it. You would have to still continue to give the advantage to the Timberwolves, even though it's 1-1. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Los Angeles Lakers? How concerned do you think they should be? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.